So we have this king, King Limhi,
right,
leading his people. They're refugees, basically, in a new land.
Yeah.
He's worried about them and wants to reconnect with their, lost brethren.
Makes sense.
And we're talking Mosiah chapter 8 here.
Huh.
And it mentions this, discovery.
Oh, really?
Sounds like Indiana Jones kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Ancient ruins, mysterious plates.
Wow.
Objects that hint at a whole lost civilization.
So King Limhi's got to be curious.
Totally. We should be too.
Yeah, definitely.
So King Limhi, he sends out this group,
Okay.
43 people.
43.
It's a risky expedition.
Yeah.
Right out into the wilderness.
Right.
To find their lost brethren.
In Zarahemla.
Exactly. And this is in Mosiah 8.7.
Okay.
They don't find them though.
Oh.
But they do stumble upon something else.
What's that?
Something incredible.
Yeah, this is where it gets really exciting.
I know, right?
So picture this. A land filled with bones.
Bones.
Human and animal bones.
Oh.
Crumbling buildings. Evidence of this vast civilization just gone. Vanished.
Oh.
And they find artifacts too, 24 gold plates.
Gold plates.
Yeah, and breastplates.
No way.
Swords. The whole deal. This is in Mosiah 8.
What verses?
Verses 8 through 10.
So it's like they're stepping into this lost world.
It really is.
Like a tangible connection to this forgotten past.
Yeah, and it just sparks this curiosity in King Limhi.
Of course.
He wants to know what those plates say.
But they can't decipher them.
Nobody in his group can read the language.
It's like finding a treasure chest, but you don't have the key.
It says that in Mosiah 8.11.
Oh, man, that's got to be so frustrating.
Oh, for sure. But, his motivation, it runs deeper than just curiosity.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, look at Mosiah 8.12. He's not just looking for information. He wants wisdom. He wants to understand the mistakes of this lost civilization.
I'll learn from them.
Right, so he can be a better leader for his own people.
That's deep.
It is. It shows his character.
It's not just about, satisfying your curiosity.
Oh.
It's about finding guidance. Understanding the patterns of human behavior, how history seems to repeat itself.
Yeah, it's like he's recognizing that the past can illuminate the present.
Exactly.
Which brings us to this idea of a seer.
A seer.
Yeah, it's explained by Ammon in Mosiah 8, verses 13 through 17.
Right.
A seer is someone with this divinely granted ability to translate ancient records, to reveal hidden truths.
So it's not just deciphering a language.
No, it's about spiritual knowledge.
Like a deeper understanding.
Exactly. And Ammon goes on to talk about these interpreters. These objects that seers use to access that knowledge.
Interesting.
And he's very clear only those commanded by God can use them.
So it's a sacred gift.
Very much so. It's not earned, it's bestowed.
It really emphasizes the role of faith,
Uh-huh.
trusting in God's power to help us understand these mysteries.
That there are truths beyond what we can comprehend on our own.
Things that need a higher perspective.
Right.
And Mosiah 8.18 explains that these interpreters were prepared for the purpose of unfolding all such mysteries to the children of men.
King Limhi's response to all this is really insightful.
Like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, he starts to grasp what they've found.
And the potential impact it could have.
Not just for his people, but for understanding history itself.
Right.
And we see that in Mosiah 8.19.
Okay.
He recognizes the great mystery within the plates.
It's powerful.
He acknowledges the divine purpose of the interpreters.
There's definitely a sense of awe in his words.
For sure. And then in Mosiah 8.20, King Limhi reflects on those who choose to ignore wisdom.
People who refuse to engage with deeper truths.
It's like a wake-up call for all of us.
It is. Have you got your scriptures handy?
I do.
Read that verse for us.
All right, Mosiah 8.20. Oh, how marvelous are the works of the Lord, and how long doth he suffer with his people. Yea, and how blind and impenetrable are the understandings of the children of men, for they will not seek wisdom, neither do they desire that she should rule over them.
Wow, that's powerful. It makes you think.
It really does.
About the times we've been so focused on our own perspective.
Yeah.
So sure that we're right, that we miss the bigger picture.
And the wisdom that might be available if we just opened our minds and hearts.
That's a good point. It's a challenge to cultivate that humility.
It is.
To admit we don't have all the answers.
And to seek out wisdom.
To let it guide our lives instead of clinging to our own limited understanding.
Exactly.
The image King Limhi uses in Mosiah 8.21 is pretty intense.
Tell me about it.
He compares those who reject wisdom to a wild flock which fleeth from the shepherd and scattereth and are driven and are devoured by the beasts of the forest.
It's a warning
For sure.
about what happens when we neglect spiritual guidance.
When we wander aimlessly without a shepherd.
And it's so relevant today.
How so?
We have so much information.
Yeah, information overload.
But wisdom seems harder to find,
Right. It's easy to get lost in the noise.
to lose sight of what truly matters,
King Limhi's story, it's like a reminder to stay grounded.
to keep searching for that deeper understanding
That connection with our spiritual roots.
and embracing the guidance we're offered.
It's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. Those interpreters,
Yeah.
both the physical ones like in the Book of Mormon
Right.
and the ones we kind of rely on in our own lives.
It's true. We may not have those ancient artifacts to decipher,
Right.
but we all have those decisions we have to make.
Yeah.
Challenges.
And we need guidance. We need understanding.
So what are those things that help us interpret the world?
Exactly. Like what shapes our thinking?
For King Limhi, it was those interpreters.
Mm.
That tangible link to something bigger.
A way to get knowledge beyond what humans can figure out on their own.
But for us today,
Yeah.
what acts as our interpreters?
What helps us connect with a deeper truth?
It could be so many things.
Like what?
The scriptures,
Okay.
prayer,
Yeah.
the promptings of the Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
even advice from people we trust.
Right. All those can give us a clearer view.
Help us see the bigger picture.
And just like those interpreters needed faith to work,
Yeah.
our own interpreters, they often need us to trust,
To believe in something beyond ourselves.
to believe there's wisdom we can't grasp on our own.
It's about humility.
Absolutely.
Recognizing we don't have all the answers.
And being open to new
To
ideas,
challenge what we think we know.
to expand our understanding,
That's how we grow.
individually and
I
together.
have to admit we don't know everything.
And there's always something new to learn.
And that
It
wisdom,
can come from anywhere.
you never know where it'll pop up.
We don't just acquire wisdom.
Right.
We cultivate it
Through what we experience,
through the people we meet.
our relationship with God.
It's a journey, a lifelong one,
And it's not always easy,
full of ups and downs.
but it's worth it.
Because it brings us closer to God.
To understanding His plan for us.
And we're not alone on this journey.
We have each other.
Our families, our communities.
The guidance of the Spirit.
King Limhi's story reminds us even when things are uncertain,
There's hope.
there's a way forward.
We just have to look for it.
Be open to it.
Sometimes those
They
answers,
come in unexpected ways.
you think you know what you're looking for.
But it turns out to be something different.
But if we trust in God,
We'll find the wisdom we need.
when we need it,
It's about believing that God is working things out.
even when we can't see the whole picture,
Trusting that He'll lead us to the right people,
the right experiences,
the insights we need to grow.
to become who we're meant to be.
It's like our lives are part of this big tapestry,
A divine plan,
unfolding all around us.
even the hard stuff,
Yeah. The setbacks,
the times we don't know what's going on,
those can be chances to grow
to learn.
if we have faith and an open heart,
We have to look at the world and see possibility.
to know that there's always hope.
Always a reason to keep going.
King Limhi's story shows us how powerful faith can be.
The incredible things that can happen.
When we let go of our own will.
And trust in God's plan.
His story inspires us
To face the unknown.
to be brave and humble in our challenges.
And never stop looking for wisdom.
It's a journey.
And it's the journey that matters.
Seeking truth and understanding is worth it.
It leads to growth.
To a deeper connection with God. This is a message that speaks to everyone.
It doesn't matter who you are or what you believe.
This is a story about hope,
About never giving up.
about the love of God.
That's always there for us.
Even when we feel alone,
King Limhi's story reminds us.
we're never truly alone.
We all belong.
God is always there to welcome us back.
Even when things are dark.
There's always light.
Always a reason to keep believing.
There's a path back to God.
Never give up hope.
Keep searching for truth.
Trust that God is working things out for good.
Be a light in the world.
Share what you've learned with others.
Help them find their way back to God.
It's a beautiful message.
I hope it touches our listeners.
King Limhi's story.
It's powerful.
It reminds us we're all on a journey
To learn.
to get closer to God.
And even though it can be hard,
We're never truly alone.
we have each other
Our
and
scripted.
the Spirit to guide us.
Let's all try to be like King Limhi.
Seek wisdom with a humble heart
Trust in God's plan.
and share the truth with everyone.
Never stop learning.
Never stop growing.
And never stop seeking God.
That's a great thought to end on.
It was great talking about this with you.
I'm glad we could share these insights.
I hope it inspired people.
And don't forget to follow our podcast and subscribe for more discussions like this. Until next time.
You know, it's amazing
What's that?
how this story from so long ago
Yeah.
still feels so relevant today.
It really does. King Limhi wanting wisdom,
Yeah.
wanting to understand the past to
Mhm.
help him with his challenges.
It's something we can all relate to.
For sure.
We all have times when we feel lost
Yeah.
or unsure,
Or like we need help.
and that's when we can turn to the scriptures.
To learn from those who came before.
Find some inspiration.
Direction.
King Limhi's story shows us
What?
that searching for wisdom,
Yeah.
it's not about the end goal.
It's the journey.
It's about constantly learning,
Growing
understanding the world better.
and our place in it.
And it takes humility.
Oh, definitely.
King Limhi could have just ignored Ammon,
Stuck with what he thought he knew.
but he listened.
He considered something new.
Something outside his own experience.
That's so important.
Being open to new ideas.
Questioning what you think you know.
Expanding your understanding.
That's how we grow
As individuals,
as a society.
we have to admit we don't have all the answers.
There's always more to learn.
And,
What?
wisdom can come from anywhere.
You don't always expect it.
Sometimes the most insightful ideas.
They come from people who see things differently than you.
It's about having faith,
Not just in God.
but in ourselves.
In our ability to learn and become better.
King Limhi needed faith to find understanding.
It was key.
He believed there were answers out there.
Even when he couldn't see them.
And that faith led him to the guidance he needed.
Faith means trusting there's a plan.
A purpose.
Even when we don't get it.
Believing we're not alone.
That there's something bigger guiding us.
Even in the tough times. King Limhi's story shows how faith can change things.
How powerful it can be.
When we surrender to God's will,
And let his wisdom guide us.
it reminds us
That even when we feel alone,
God is always there
ready to help.
if we just listen. And sometimes the answers we're looking for.
They show up in strange ways.
We might not have ancient plates or interpreters.
But we have the scriptures.
We can pray.
We have the Spirit.
And we have people we trust who can give us advice.
Those are our interpreters.
The things that help us understand life.
And find wisdom
King Limhi's story tells us
to use those things.
to ask for guidance.
Be open to the lessons around us.
It's a call to action.
To go on our own quests for wisdom.
Embrace the journey.
And trust that God is with us.
So, as we finish up here,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope people take away from this story?
I hope they remember that we're all searching.
That finding wisdom is a lifelong journey.
And we're not alone in it.
We have each other.
We have faith.
And we have the Spirit.
There are so many stories like King Limhi's, stories that can inspire and guide us.
So keep reading.
Keep searching.
Keep looking for wisdom. Thanks for being here today.
It was great talking about this with you.
I hope you found this inspiring.
And don't forget to follow and subscribe for more discussions like this. Until next time.